Pack? Oh, yeah, that might be. Not to be racist, no. It's packed.
Not to be racist, but we should end the podcast.
We should end the, not to be racist. We should end the podcast and do the post show. All right.
Silence! They reflexively cried out in surprise and covered their ears as the voice echoed off the mountains. When asked, "Who said that?" "I said silence," the voice repeated. It was so loud it made their clothing vibrate.
Leave, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you.
You'll appreciate this. We told her to start the podcast last week, but she had to do these, like, they give her, it was one of these artisanal coffee shops, and so she had to taste all the blends, like the Ethiopian blend, and then she had to fill out a form like, oh, it has notes and whatever. Bullshit. And, exactly, so she wrote every time.
I think that was the place that was, that we were eating there or something, and you said something about, I would, hear, maybe just in Seattle. Yeah. I feel like that was one of the first things we went.
I think it was like our third date.
This report was the result of the first examination of the evidence accumulated since the hastily compiled ERAD report of 1989. Things have certainly changed since then. The Navy researchers, for instance, had released a 2-volume report covering a... so that it will be harder to control their movements, and they respond by doing everything at a snail's pace. Tell them the opposite, that the electrodes are now set for optimum mobility, and suddenly the movements become normal. In neither case does anyone need to touch the electrode settings to achieve the effect. Expectation of a significant improvement or degradation. Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.
And there's this little boy. I don't know how old he was. He must have been maybe 9 or 10.
Going on 30.
The most charismatic, hilarious, outgoing, confident kid I've ever met. I don't know. But I met him a few times, and at the end of the convention, he came back and proposed to me. Giant ring, and he gave me this little banner that said "Best Day Ever." So it's like, you gave me the best day ever when I met you yesterday. I'm like, you just smiled at me.
He was like, your name's Luke, sweetie.
Yeah, he came by and he
Oh my god.
That was a ride. Critics say he's choosing to exercise that right.
At one of these rallies at an airport hangar, and
he says things that a lot of people would like to say, but they don't have the guts politically to say it. So, and that's sad, really sad. And one thing I'm really happy is how he opened the door.
That's still a red light, right?
Nobody else had No, she's not kidding. She says she's just kidding, but it's totally real. Are you paranoid at all about going first?
No, I'm not. Whatever happens.
I accelerate. As long as I
have my hair.
That's not feel great. Why is she, what's so good about her?
She approaches travel with the same crazy, methodical mindset that I do. About like how to get around and how you move to a city.
What's that?
Lose myself and now I'm not the same. I'm going to a free fall.
while they were.
You had to like what? And you were like lifting the dumbbell too.
He missed the spot. He missed the spot. But yeah, I had to like make sure that they cleaned. It was like babysitting. It was like, you did it bad, so you need to go in. You need to clean it up, and I had to watch them do it. So outside of
I'll let you have LA. 'Cause I took so much time to reset my life, but in just one look, I'm back. Forget that I could have anyone I like, but now all I remember.
I turned to Justine and said, Dr. Smith, want a clue Miss Hunt in? Chapter 115. Justine sat down at the table next to Nora, and I saw shocking white bands of gauze and tape binding her wrists. The gauze was striped with bright blood, which was seeping through. What had she done? I told Mike not to call you, and Morgan.
I'm sorry, Lisa, I tried to listen.
Yo! People do that.
Becca blinked twice before bursting into laughter so dry and bitter that it sounded like coughing. So that's why you haven't leaked anything to the press. They can't find out that you've screwed up. And in the meantime, you're desperate to find the right man. Or a potential right man. Correct, Harry said, sucking on his own cigarette. And at the moment, that's you. At the moment, I thought your role was to persuade me that you knew, as if she had received an unexpected snap to the head. My God, it must be from the bathroom. Had she really forgotten to turn off the shower again?
Get your food. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the same girl every time. I'm proud of What the?
Philip opened the door to his shop, a two-story building with a window full of dusty trinkets, dried dead animals, and small bottles full of smaller dead animals and trinkets. He invited the bishop and Honor in. Honor was relieved when the bishop said, "No, thank you." As she and the bishop continued to walk, Honor said, "You're friends with a wizard, Your Excellency?" "Yes," Bishop Galbraith said. "Philip has helped me more than once." "I see." After a few silent steps, they could, following through as the blades bounced off the passing dragons and were stopped, usually by the body of the man standing next to them. Ghost pain from the talons and the genuine pain from their own swords, where the warriors assumed that a toenail or two had gotten past the shields. When the last dragon flew past, they had a moment to look at each other, and saw plenty of blood to reaffirm this belief. One of the men said, "The dragons did either look at Grisel or Shonag." "All right, fine," Britt said. "We get that this is important to you and all of your relatives. But why would you be so ashamed if we did this for you? Is it because we're women?" The men blanched, looking genuinely hurt. Jock said, "I'm sorry, but you don't understand. It's not at all because you're women. It's because you're not us. We'll have to see this through. We all promised." Mungo shouted, "Promised God himself!" "Okay, yes, all right," Britt said. "You promised many people and supernatural entities that we need not list that you would kill the dragons, and you don't want to go back and tell them that you let someone else handle it. Is that right?" Jock smiled and bowed.
Flowers, and third, the contemporary design. After that, I entered a competition and made the local paper by winning a regional award. The prize was a week working with a top florist in London, visiting the flower markets at the crack of dawn. Scary, exhausting, exhilarating. Heaven. And then, the unimaginable.
Trump's commitment to the American people, a commitment that we share here in the Senate.
To date, these judicial nominations have been a rare, unifying bright spot for the Republican Party, even as it is fractured over so many other things, like what to do about Obamacare, or now we're seeing a lot of disagreement over tax reform. They all agree that these are the kinds of judges that Republicans like. An extraordinarily polarized federal bench. It's just like Congress, where you can just look at the pants.
A very good point. Alright, so you have my confession. That'll keep me from getting out of line. Checks and balances and all that. She thought about this for an uncomfortably long time. Without breaking eye contact, she pulled the deportation order off her desk and put it in a drawer. I sighed.
The MIT researchers began wondering if the basal ganglia might be integral to habits as well. They noticed that animals with injured basal ganglia suddenly developed